For this project, we're going to be creating a habit tracker in Python. And it's going to look like this. As soon as we run it, we're going to get this beautiful chart in the console that tells us the name of the habit that we're quitting, the time since we quit it, the remaining days to actually conquer quitting our habit, the time in minutes saved from using that habit. For example, coffee might take you 5 minutes per day. So up to this point, we saved 22 minutes, and the money saved on doing that habit. For example, coffee can cost you maybe 2 euros, 3 euros per day. And here we have 15 euros saved after 4 days. Being lazy is an expensive habit, so we saved over 2,000 euros in the past 2 years. And you'll see also that once we get past the 60-day habit breaking period, we will have text that displays cleared because we broke that habit. And we'll be able to add and remove as many elements as we want. But that's the entire project, and it can be something really cool if you have some sort of habit you're trying to quit. So let's get started immediately by creating a new empty project. And I'm just going to delete all of that and create another file. And the other file is going to be called habit tracker. And this will contain the model and the functionality of the habits. So inside here, we need to import from datetime, and we also need to import from data classes, the data class, because I want to create a habit or a class for our habit. And the class is going to be called habit. And this will contain a name for the habit of type string, the time since we quit that habit of type string, the remaining days of type string, the minutes saved, which will be of type float, and the money saved, which will be of type string. So those are the fields of our habit. Then we want to create a function called track habit, so we can keep track of the habit we are following, and that will take a parameter called name of type string, then a start for that habit when we started it, which will be of type datetime, and the cost of that habit per day, so float, and minutes used each day for that habit, minutes used of type float. And all of this will return to us a habit. I guess we don't need the sidebar in this moment, so we'll close that. At the top, we're going to define a goal of type integer, which is going to be set to 60 days initially. However long it takes to destroy a habit or to get rid of a habit, enter those amount of days there so that we have something to count down from. And then you can enter your hourly wage. So you can say hourly wage is equal to, for example, 30 euros an hour, so that we can calculate how much money we actually save by quitting that habit. Next, we need to get the time elapsed. So time elapsed of type float is going to equal datetime.now minus the start date time. And we want to get the total seconds back from that. And this should actually be instantiated. So that's going to give us the total time elapsed in seconds. Then we want to convert that to hours. So I'll type hours of type float, and we're going to round the time elapsed divided by 60 divided by 60. And we want to round that to 1 decimal place. And days of type float are going to equal round hours divided by 24 to 2 decimal places. Next, the money saved of type float is going to equal the cost times the days. The minutes used type float are going to equal round days times minutes used. So we're doing a lot of math here. And the total money saved, because we want to combine both of them, is going to be of type string. And I'm going to write formatted string with the euro. And here I can interpolate by adding the curly brackets and say money saved plus parentheses minutes used divided by 60 times my hourly wage. This should be minutes used. And then we will highlight this and round it to 2 decimal places. And I'll quickly add some comments here to make it look a bit more detailed. So we have convert timestamp into hours and days, and we have some random bonus details. Next, we have the amount of days remaining until we actually break the habit. So we will create a variable called days to go of type float or string, and that's going to equal round goal minus days. Then we want to create some displayable information. And when I say displayable, I mean we're going to return it as a string in a nice format. So remaining days of type string is going to equal cleared if days to go is less than or equal to 0. Else we're going to print the formatted string of days to go. And we also want to return the time since. So time since is going to be of type string, and that's going to equal the formatted string of days if hours are greater than 72. Because we don't want to count in hours the whole time. Eventually we want to convert to days. And I made a quick typo in time since, so I'll fix that. And here we'll type in else. We're going to return hours. So that's all the math and calculations that we have to do to create a habit. Now we just need to return that habit. So return habit with the following parameters. Name, which will be equal to name. Time since, which will be equal to time since. Remaining days will be equal to remaining days. Minutes saved are going to be equal to minutes used. And money saved is going to equal total money saved. And that's going to take care of the functionality we need to create a habit. Now for the second part, we're going to navigate to main.py and we're going to open up the terminal because we need to install pandas since we want to use some data frame functionality. And once we've installed that, we're also going to pip install tabulate, which allows us to create beautiful tables inside our console. Then we can import pandas as PD, and then from tabulate, we're going to import tabulate. From date time, we're going to import date time, and from habit tracker, we're going to import track habit and the habit type. Next, we can create some habits. So we're going to create a main function, and the habits are going to be of type list of habit, which are just going to be a list of habits. And the first one we're going to call track habit, and we're going to say we want to quit coffee, and the time or the start time is going to be a date time. And here you have the option to insert the year, month, day, hour, and minute, and even second, microsecond, and you can get very specific as you can see. So right now we are in 2023. The month is the 6th month, and today's the 7th day. We'll say we quit yesterday, so we'll put 6/6. And we quit yesterday at 8 in the morning. The minutes don't matter in this case, so we'll leave it like that. Then the cost we'll say is €1 per day, and the minutes used on making that coffee takes me about 5 minutes per morning. So we have one habit so far, and we're just going to test it with one at the moment. So first we need to create a data frame, which is going to be a pd.dataframe from those habits. Then with that data frame, we can print tabulate, and we're going to have to insert a data frame here. And the headers are going to be the keys of the data class. And we also should specify a table format, which is going to be PSQL. Then let's run this real quick to see what happens. Now I will tap on run, and the startup time will take long the first time you do it. It has to generate the graph, but as you can see, we now have coffee, because I didn't spell coffee correctly, inside our chart. So we are effectively saving money and slowly quitting our habit. Let's change this to coffee, and let's change the month to 5. So now if we run this, it's going to change to 32 days with 28 days remaining. And this is how much time and money I saved just in 1 month. Otherwise, let's go back, let's say 3 months. So we'll change this to 3. And we should have cleared inside remaining days. We successfully conquered that habit, and we saved this much time, and it's going to continue counting it. So we can always see how much money we saved. And there's actually one silly thing I did here, and that is put the euros inside parentheses. So I will go back to the data class, and I'm going to change that as soon as I find it, which is right here. So we'll get rid of those parentheses, rerun the program, and that is gone. But let's add another habit. because we're here already, so why not? And what's something else I want to quit? Let's quit wasting time. And I quit that, let's say in 2023, and we'll put the 6th month, and today I guess is the 7th. I will say I quit wasting time at 6 in the morning. Cost is 100 euros per day, and the minutes used are around 12 hours, so 60 times 12. So I stopped wasting time at 6 this morning, and right now it's around 9, so you'll see 3 hours in the console. And I saved 60 euros since I quit it just 3 hours ago, which is great. I feel rich again. Or we can do something more realistic, such as quit smoking. We can say that happened 2 days ago, so on the 6th month, on the 5th day, and the cost is actually quite expensive. I don't smoke, but if I did, I imagine it would be around 15 euros per day in Denmark. And minutes used, if you smoke in general, I guess it's every hour you would smoke, or every hour and a half. So I'm going to say around half an hour wasted on smoking per day. So there we go. I quit smoking since 51 hours. Now I have 58 more days until I conquer this habit. The time I saved so far is around 1 hour, and I saved 63 euros in just 2 days. So that's insane. And as you can see, you can add as many habits as you want. So it's a very simple project that looks really cool because you actually get to visualize data in the console. So play around with it, have fun with it, and of course experiment with it, because that's how you learn to actually program in Python.